Do you think in general, when it comes to relationships, you should keep them private, or
Generally.
it should be something that you share online from time to time? Because from my experience,
it's a great question.
There's two types of women. There's some who they want to be off the grid. They hate social media.
Yeah.
They don't even like to post anything.
Yeah.
But I love that.
Yeah.
It's very different to my life. Obviously, I pick and choose what I'd like to talk about. But to be with someone who's doing the complete opposite is nice sometimes.
Yeah.
Then there's also someone that I could date who's very similar. Like maybe their job involves social media. They have a big following. Literally everything they're doing, they're documenting. So when it comes to them being in a relationship, that's something they want to share with the world.
Yeah.
And then maybe, if they're particularly happy with the person that they're with, they want to show it off.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts on the success of a relationship if it's public versus keeping it behind closed doors?
I mean, that's a really interesting question. I think it depends on your plan for that.
Mm-hmm.
There are like these social media power couples that do that, and they share their entire personal life publicly on the internet. And I think if you started from that point, you have to continue on that point. My angle is because, I mean, I'm more like I've got a little bit of a public audience. They see me, like I get recognized, when I go places, especially in North America. I would never share a woman that I've given my commitment to or anything close to that publicly, because it's an attack vector.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
someone really wants to get to you.
Yeah, well,
they can make your life hell.
Well, that's how they tend to get to you. We saw it with the Tates, right?
Yeah.
It was women, like right away, like that was the attack vector. So I think that a man would be wise in most cases to keep his personal relationships personal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why would you want the woman that you love showcased to the world to see?
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I was at Address Sky Pool here in Dubai, with the view of the Burj, and you have the infinity pool, and I lost count of the amount of men that were taking photographs of their girl at the edge of the infinity pool wearing literally nothing. In some cases, she would pop her bum out of the top, pull up the thong, and just get the most obnoxious photograph. And he's sitting there documenting the whole thing.
Let me just pimp you out.
Yeah.
The world. Yeah.
Now, okay, maybe he was their OnlyFans manager. I don't know, but they didn't look like that. They look like the plugged-in beta male, like the fat guy that's just, okay, babe, whatever. And some of these girls are there with like wardrobe changes, 3 different bathing suits all day long from different shots, different sun angles. And it's like, these guys have no idea that their girl posting this on social media publicly is going to be soliciting the attention of guys, most of them dorks, but of guys that are in some cases substantial.
Mm-hmm.
And you're essentially promoting her so that she can go out and chase the next upgrade.
Yeah.
Right. Again, women are hypergamous. They want to be with a better man. So if you're not it at some point and your photography work or your video work is that good that the next guy slides in and she decides to move on to that, you've got nobody to blame but yourself.
Yeah.
I think that if you're in a long-term relationship with a chick, she should have no access to social media, or if she's using it, it's just absolutely private. Like she just has private photographs for her family events, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing beyond that, because a woman that's in that has asked a man, has said, look, where are we going? I don't want to share you. I want to build a life with you. Like I want to have a family sort of thing. When a woman gets to that point and she starts saying things like that, I think that's when you have to examine her and say, well, I dig your vibe too, but I really can't take a woman seriously that's posting provocative photographs on social media. Mm-hmm. And that's where you can put your foot down. Like that's the opportunity to do that when she starts leaning into you and asking you for more.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you might say that, and a lot of women would take offense to that. It's like, what? You don't want
you're
to
controlling
post anything on social media. But it comes down to the type of photo that they're posting.
Sure.
Like you can definitely take pictures, nice background, but do it in an elegant way.
Correct.
And cover up.
Yeah.
And like it's you can still look beautiful and sexy, but like in just a much more of an elegant way.
Correct.
Compared to if you just bent over and you got your tits out.
Yeah.
So that's something which I think I've started to notice now. If all I would have to do is just take a look at the previous pictures which they've been uploading.
Yeah.
Like if they've already been doing that.
Yeah.
It's going to be very hard for you to try and tell them, okay, like stop doing that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if a woman truly loves a man, she would do it. But the vast majority of women today, I think, would choose a path of, what's wrong with you, Mike? Why are you insecure?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a real man would, and then ... Basically, whenever a guy hears a real man would, she's trying to use a shaming tactic to manipulate your behavior so that it benefits her.
Yeah.
right? So this is, again, a place where men should be putting their foot down.
Yeah.
But that's the reality of most women today, right? Like most attractive women like the social media attention. And why wouldn't they? That's how they're hardwired. The more provocative the photography, the more salacious the photography, the more attention they get.
Yeah.
That's why fathers would be wise to try to limit the amount of social media activity their daughters have. And they should, at the same time, try to focus their sons on creating value, because that's where men get the best out of life that they want. Men's best optionality in life will come from being as handsome as they can possibly be and being as valuable as they can possibly be. The problem is a lot of men squander that away. There's lots of handsome men that are valuable that will just simp for women, right?
Yeah. Well, I've noticed as well that sometimes it can be it's a blessing and a curse, because sometimes if you have been, this goes for women as well, if you've been blessed with looking great, especially for a woman at a young age, you don't need to do anything.
Yeah,
you
your
have
value
the world
is
is your
inherent.
oyster.
Yeah.
For a guy as well, like obviously it will improve your chances of getting women, but then you can become too complacent on purely just the way you look, so that you don't develop these other skills that are also going to help you in life and help you create a decent career and make money for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. It
To the
takes a
point
while
where
for guys to reach their stride.
And then later on, they're like, "Oh shit! Like I'm fucking broke.
Yeah.
I'm still like, maybe I'm a good looking guy, but like I have no money."
Yeah.
Whereas like the other guys who maybe didn't have the looks or the genetics, they worked their ass off because they're like, "Look, I can't rely on this, so I need to start getting my money up."
Yeah.
And then they're the ones that end up winning in the end because they're just so financially secure and stable.
Correct.
Yeah. So speaking of that, what do you think the main things that can help a guy, particularly a young guy in the 20s, that will help them when it comes to dating and actually getting women?
In your 20s as a guy, women will have more patience for you if you're not rich. It's fine. Women don't have a lot of patience for a 40-year-old broke guy that's handsome. If you're broke in 20, no problem. She'll date you, she'll sleep with you enthusiastically. So as you're in your 20s, sort of moving into your 30s and so on, your focus needs to be on creating value for yourself, right? Creating renown, doing things of influence, become captivating. And of course, learn the notion of how to deal with women, how to game them, if you can, quote unquote, use that from the pickup artist community. But you have to know how women respond to certain things and then manage that as you sort of navigate life. But the priority should always be chase excellence, not women, right? I'm not saying disengage from women, don't deal with women. That's where I often get misquoted. When I say chase excellence, not women, I mean, yes, find your purpose, make that the focus. Don't let women distract it from you, but indulge, make sure that you understand women, because that's why we're here. At some point, most guys will eventually try to settle down, or they get fed up with the Playboy lifestyle or having too much fun, and they think about family and having kids and stuff like that. And you have to know what you're dealing with, because you're really playing with fire when it comes to chicks.
Yeah. And there's definitely certain regions in the world where dating is a lot more difficult. Like
I could see it being hard here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here, I get asked this question a lot. I think the dating scene is great. Like you will have endless options and you can have a lot of fun. It is literally like a playground for adults. But doing the long-term thing and being in a committed relationship thing, I think that requires more work.
It is.
It's harder to do here.
Yeah.
Just because of, especially if you're a successful guy, the sheer amount of temptation that you get. And it does not slow down because, if you're in your mid-30s, usually if you're working hard, you're on a trajectory where your career, social status, money is just, you're getting more and more of it.
Yeah. And, like the temptation is always going to exist, right? Whether you act on it or not is up to you. But I think that she has to have the perception that optionality is there, whether you're utilizing it or not, right?
And the same thing goes for if you have found a woman who's also very attractive and ticks a lot of the boxes, then she is also going to have a lot of options as well. So you, as the man, have to really be on top of his game, because there's going to be other successful guys out there who could very easily swoop off her feet if you don't step up.
Yeah, I mean, you typically end up being slightly more valuable than she is on like a scale. Like if she's a 7, you're probably going to be a 8 or a 9 or a 10 sort of thing. That's typically how it works. Guys tend to date down on the attractive sort of area. Not always, but that's when women are happiest.
they get less drama and headache.
Yeah.
Like a lot of guys would want to, they have the idea of, well, I want to go for a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of them will be surprised at what comes with that.
I mean, I'd rather have a pleasant 7 than a bitchy 10 all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something needs to be aware of.
All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.